Winter nights are always so cold and quiet. It gets dark early and the air was freezing cold, but sometimes I find that kind of stillness strangely comforting. That night, I just couldn't sleep. I've been under a lot of stress lately, dealing with all kinds of health issues, especially after several days of non-stop overtime. My head was about to burst, so I decided to go out for a walk to clear my mind. Streetlights cast a dim yellow glow over the city streets, and a light mist hung in the air. I pulled my coat tighter and wandered aimlessly until, before I knew it, I was at that old park nearby. No one came to this park anymore. The old playground equipment looked like it was falling apart. Especially at night, it seemed even more deserted. Right in the middle of the park stood an old swing set, rusty chains covered in mist. It looked pretty creepy, to be honest. But the weirdest part, one of the swings was gently swaying, despite there being no wind at all. I stopped, feeling a chill run down my spine. But curiosity got the better of me, and I took a few steps closer. Just as I approached the swing set, I heard it. A soft, low laugh. It sounded like a kid, soft and light, but in the quiet night, it was really creepy, like it was whispering directly into my ear.
Come play with me.
The voice seemed to come from everywhere at once, making it impossible to figure out where it came from. I looked around, but no one was there, just thick mist all around me. I pulled out my phone, wanting to record what was happening, but when I pointed the camera at the swing, I saw a shadow in the frame. A small child sat on the swing, back to me, head bowed, long hair hanging down. I almost dropped my phone in shock. I quickly looked up at the swing, but it was just empty. I took a deep breath, telling myself I was probably just too tired, seeing things that weren't there. But then my phone screen suddenly went black and I saw my own reflection. My hands started to shake because there was something else, a faint smile, and it wasn't mine.
Leave this place! Don't go near the swing!
A raspy voice suddenly spoke behind me. I turned around so fast, I almost lost my balance. Standing a short distance away was a homeless man, dressed in ragged clothes, staring directly at the swing set. "Who are you? Did you see a kid here just now?" I tried to steady my voice as I spoke. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he slowly stepped closer and said in a low voice,
That swing has chosen you. If you want to live, listen to me. Don't turn around, don't go near it, and don't touch it.
His voice carried a strong warning, one that I couldn't ignore. "What do you mean it chose me? Why me?" I started to panic, feeling scared and frustrated. The man sighed, shook his head, and said, "It looks for people like you, lonely people." Hearing that, my heart sank, like something had grabbed hold of it. I wanted to ask more questions, but he waved his hand and walked into the mist, disappearing before I could say anything else. I turned back to look at the swing set, and the only thought in my mind was, I had to get out of there. But no matter how much I tried, I kept ending up back at the same spot, like I was stuck in some kind of twisted loop. I started feeling a pressure all around me, like an invisible weight pressing down on my chest. The kid's laughter came again, sharper this time. I could almost feel it right behind me. I kept reminding myself, don't turn around, and I started running, but the scenery around me just wouldn't change.
Come play with me.
The voice was closer now, whispering right into my ear. I felt an icy little hand grab onto the hem of my coat. I couldn't hold back anymore. I spun around. There, in the mist, stood a small figure, eyes dark like empty holes, no whites at all. The kid smiled, and it was sharp and cold in the winter night.
You can't leave,
the voice said. A feeling of despair washed over me, and I felt stuck to the ground. Suddenly, a light cut through the mist, and the shadow screamed before vanishing.
Didn't I tell you to leave?
The raspy voice came again. It was the homeless man. I don't know when he had come back, but there he was, holding a stick that glowed faintly, making the mist slowly retreat.
Go now! You got lucky this time, but it won't let you go that easily, he
said, then turned and walked away, disappearing again into the darkness. I stumbled out of the park, barely making it home. When I finally caught my breath, I noticed something strange, a mark on my wrist, like it had been pressed by the chain of the swing. I tried to wash it off, but it wouldn't fade. From that night on, my life was never the same. Every night, I could hear the swing creaking outside my window, as if reminding me, we'll meet again,